TSA food rules most travelers get wrong. The $20 sandwich that never made it past security. Picture this. You've packed the perfect travel snacks. Maybe it's your favorite peanut butter, a fancy jar of honey from a local market, or leftovers from that amazing restaurant you visited the night before your flight. You confidently roll up to airport security, already thinking about enjoying your food at 35,000 feet. Then, suddenly, a TSA officer reaches into your bag. Sorry, you can't bring this through. Just like that, your food is headed for the trash bin, and you're left standing there wondering how a perfectly harmless snack somehow became a national security threat. If this has ever happened to you, you're definitely not alone. Every day, travelers lose food, waste money, and experience unnecessary stress because TSA food rules can be surprisingly confusing. What's considered a solid food one moment can magically become a liquid the next. Some items can go in a carry-on, others only in checked baggage, and a few have exceptions that even frequent flyers don't know about. The good news? Once you understand the rules, navigating airport security becomes much easier. Today, we're uncovering the TSA food rules most travelers get wrong, including the surprising foods classified as liquids, the loopholes that can save you money, and the bizarre exception that allows you to bring a live lobster onto an airplane. Yes, seriously. Let's dive in. The secret that changes everything: carry-on versus checked bags. Before we talk about specific foods, you need to understand one simple concept that determines almost everything. Where are you packing the food? This single decision changes the entire game. Carry-on bags are accessible during the flight, which means they face much stricter screening requirements. Checked bags travel underneath the aircraft in the cargo hold and generally have fewer restrictions when it comes to food. Many travelers make the mistake of assuming that if food is legal to bring on a plane, it's automatically legal in a carry-on. That's not always true. And that brings us to the infamous TSA rule that causes more confusion than almost anything else, the 3-1-1 rule. If you've flown before, you've probably heard of it. Liquids, gels, creams, aerosols, and pastes and carry-on luggage must be stored in containers of 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters, and everything must fit inside a single quart-sized clear bag. Simple enough. But here's where things get weird. TSA considers some foods to be liquids, even when they don't look like liquids at all. We'll get to those shortly. First, let's talk about the foods that are completely safe. Secret number 1, foods you can pack without restrictions. Let's start with the good news. There are plenty of foods you can pack in either your carry-on or checked bag without worrying about TSA. These are the travel-friendly champions of airport security. Among them are bread, cookies, crackers, cakes, pies, solid candy, gummy bears, sandwiches, pizza. Yes, pizza lovers, your slice can fly. Protein-rich foods are generally allowed too. Cooked meat, solid cheese, fresh eggs, and if breakfast is your thing, cereal can travel right alongside you. Coffee drinkers are covered as well. You can bring coffee beans, ground coffee, dry tea leaves, and empty coffee thermoses. Healthy snack enthusiasts aren't left out either. Items such as dry fruits, nuts, protein powders, and energy powders are generally permitted. Even pet owners get some good news. Dry pet food and moist pet food are allowed. Add salt and dry spices to the list, and you've got plenty of TSA-friendly options. But don't get too comfortable. The next category is where most travelers get caught. Secret number 2, foods TSA secretly treats like liquids. Now we enter the strange world of TSA food classifications. These foods may look solid, they may feel solid, you may even eat them with a spoon, but TSA often considers them liquids, and that changes everything. The biggest offenders include peanut butter, hummus, creamy cheese spreads, honey, jam, jelly, maple syrup, ice cream, salad dressing, oils, vinegars, gravy, salsa, sauces, yogurt, and wet pet food. Even though many people wouldn't call these liquids, TSA often does. That means they must follow the 3-1-1 rule if carried through security. Want to bring peanut butter? Fine, just keep it under 3.4 ounces. Want yogurt? Same rule. The same applies to honey, salsa, hummus, and similar foods. One of the biggest victims of this rule is water bottles. Millions of travelers surrender drinks every year because they forget they can't bring full bottles through security. The smarter solution is simple. Bring an empty reusable bottle and fill it after you pass security. Your wallet will thank you. Secret number 3. The alcohol rules nobody explains properly. Many travelers enjoy bringing home local wines, spirits, or unique alcoholic beverages from their adventures. But alcohol comes with its own rules. For beverages under 24% alcohol, there are generally no quantity limits in checked baggage. For stronger spirits between 24 and 70% alcohol, passengers are limited to 5 liters per person in checked luggage, and those bottles must remain unopened and in retail packaging. Now for the hard stop. Anything over 70% alcohol or 140 proof is prohibited in both checked and carry-on baggage, no exceptions. So if you're planning to bring back that ultra-strong specialty liquor, double-check the alcohol percentage first. Secret number 4, the gray area foods. Some foods aren't outright prohibited, they're just annoying. These are the foods that often trigger additional screening and slow everything down. The biggest example? Canned foods. Technically, canned goods are usually allowed. However, they often appear suspicious on X-ray machines because of the combination of metal containers and dense contents. The result? Extra screening, potential delays, additional inspections. Fresh fruits and vegetables are generally allowed as well, but there is a catch many travelers don't know. Agricultural restrictions apply when flying from places like Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands to the U.S. mainland. Certain produce items may be prohibited to prevent the spread of pests and plant diseases. Always check local agricultural regulations before packing fresh produce. Secret number 5, the ice pack loophole. This is one of the most useful TSA secrets. If you're carrying frozen foods, seafood, meat, or other perishables, you'll probably want ice packs. That's fine, but TSA requires those ice packs to be completely frozen solid. If they're partially melted, slushy, or contain liquid water, they may be confiscated. However, there's an important exception. If those gel packs are being used to keep medication cool, they can be partially melted. Simply inform the TSA officer and allow them to inspect the items. Another option is dry ice. Travelers may transport up to 5 pounds of dry ice for frozen perishables, provided it is properly packaged, vented, and labeled. Secret number 6, the famous lobster exception. Now for the rule that sounds completely made up. You can bring a live lobster through airport security. Yes, an actual living lobster. TSA permits live lobsters in clear, spill-proof containers. Officers will inspect the container during screening. However, there's one catch. TSA approval doesn't automatically mean airline approval. Some airlines have their own policies regarding live animals and unusual cargo. So if you're planning to travel with a lobster, perhaps give your airline a call first, because explaining that situation at the gate could get awkward. Very awkward. Secret number 7, the baby food exception. Parents get a special exemption that many people don't realize exists. Formula, breast milk, juice, and water for infants are exempt from the standard 3-1-1 liquid restrictions. That means they can exceed the 3.4-ounce limit. Even more surprising, you don't necessarily have to be traveling with the child to bring breast milk or formula through security. This can be incredibly helpful for parents who travel for work while pumping. Just remember to remove these items from your bag during screening so TSA can inspect them separately. The rule that overrides every other rule. After all these guidelines, there's one final reality every traveler must understand. TSA officers have the final say. Even if an item appears on an approved list, officers can deny it if they believe it requires further review or poses a security concern. That's why the safest strategy is simple. If you're unsure, pack it in your checked luggage. And if you're still uncertain, check TSA guidance before leaving home. A few minutes of research can save you a lot of frustration at the airport. Final thoughts: stop feeding the TSA trash bin. Most travelers who lose food at airport security aren't breaking rules intentionally, they're simply confused. And honestly, who can blame them? Few people would naturally assume that peanut butter is a liquid, that a live lobster is allowed, or that partially melted ice packs could become a problem. But now you know better. The next time you travel, you'll know exactly which foods belong in your carry-on, which should go into checked baggage, and which items need special attention before reaching security. That means less stress, less wasted food, less wasted money, and a much smoother airport experience. Because let's be honest, airport food is already expensive enough without donating your snacks to a TSA trash can. Travel smarter, snack smarter, and never let confusing TSA food rules ruin your journey again. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more travel hacks, airport secrets, and money-saving travel tips. And tell us in the comments, what's the strangest food you've ever seen someone try to bring through airport security? Thanks for watching, safe travels, and we'll see you in the next adventure.
Seniors are making this airport mistake more than anyone else: the terminal illusion in the "I'm fine" epidemic. Picture this: a bustling modern airport terminal in 2026. It is a sprawling, high-tech ecosystem governed by the laws of chaos, $9 bottles of water, and the collective anxiety of 5,000 people trying to fit 22-inch rolling suitcases into 18-inch overhead bins. In the middle of this concrete jungle stands a traveler. Let's call him Walter. Walter is 68 years young, wearing orthopedic sneakers that promise maximum arch support, and carrying a leather duffel bag that looks like it survived the fall of Saigon. Walter has a mission. He needs to get to gate B47. The digital directory indicates that gate B47 is approximately 1.2 miles away, across 3 terminal trains, an escalator that smells like burnt rubber, and a moving walkway that is currently out of service. Walter's knees are clicking like a pair of castanets, and his lower back is staging a structural protest. An airline representative approaches with an empty golf cart, the beacon of terminal salvation. "Need a lift to your gate, sir?" Walter stiffens. He straightens his spine, summons the spirit of his ancestors, and delivers the 4 most dangerous words in the history of senior aviation: "No thanks, I'm fine." The terminal truth: Walter is not fine. Walter is about to embark on an unintentional Ironman triathlon that will leave him sweaty, frustrated, and dangerously close to missing his flight to Boca Raton. This scene plays out thousands of days across global airports. While millennials are busy recording TikToks about their travel anxiety and Gen Z is navigating terminals in literal pajamas, a massive demographic of older travelers is consistently making one massive systemic blunder. It isn't forgetting their passports, and it isn't showing up late. The single biggest airport mistake seniors are making more than anyone else is the pride trap. The stubborn, absolute refusal to request and accept mobility and procedural assistance. The Great Gate Marathon, when pride costs you your flight. Airports have changed radically over the last 2 decades. They're no longer simple transit hubs. They're megastructures engineered to maximize retail space, meaning the distance between security checkpoints and departure gates has expanded exponentially. For a young traveler, a 20-minute walk through a terminal is a mild cardio workout. For a senior managing arthritis, mild respiratory issues, or just the natural wear and tear of a well-lived life, it is a grueling endurance test. Yet data and anecdotal evidence from flight crews paint a clear picture. Seniors are the least likely demographic to request wheelchair or golf cart assistance ahead of time. Why? Because admitting you need help feels like an admission of weakness. It feels like conceding a piece of your independence to the passage of time.
The Senior Mobility Reluctance Cycle. Arrive at airport. See massive line/distance. Internal denial. I can walk it. Refuse free assistance. Panic and exhaustion sets in. Miss-flight/extreme fatigue. This psychological barrier turns a leisurely vacation into a high-stakes survival movie. Seniors will walk until their heels bleed, dragging heavy carry-ons rather than booking a free airport wheelchair service. By the time they reach the gate, they are physically spent, cognitively overwhelmed, and in no condition to handle the subsequent stresses of boarding a pressurized aluminum tube at 35,000 feet. Airlines explicitly offer mobility assistance not as a charity, but as an operational tool to keep flights on schedule. When a passenger declines assistance but moves at a fraction of the average walking speed, it triggers a domino effect: delayed boarding, missed departure slots, and frantic gate agents paging missing passengers who are currently stranded somewhere near a terminal Cinnabon. The pharmacy in the sky, the medication-checked bag mishap. If the pride trap is the overarching psychological blunder, it manifests physically in several secondary mistakes that plague older travelers far more than their younger counterparts. The most critical of these is improper medication transport. Let's look at another common scenario. Martha, 72, is checking her large hard-shell suitcase at the ticket counter. She thinks she's being incredibly organized by packing all her prescription bottles neatly inside her cosmetic bag, which is safely zipped inside her checked luggage. She reasons, "I won't need my pills until I get to the hotel tonight anyway." This is a high-stakes gamble with a catastrophic downside. Checked luggage is an unpredictable beast. Bags get misrouted, flights get diverted due to weather, and planes get stuck on tarmacs for hours on end. If Martha's bag takes an unexpected vacation to Denver while she's stranded in Chicago, she's suddenly separated from her blood pressure medication, insulin, or cardiac regulators. The golden rule of aviation health: life-sustaining medications must never, under any circumstances, be placed in checked luggage. They belong in your personal item, stowed directly under the seat in front of you where they're accessible at a moment's notice. The documentation deficit. Furthermore, seniors frequently fail to keep a physical copy of their medical history or prescriptions handy. If a medical emergency happens mid-flight, flight attendants and diverted medical professionals are left playing a guessing game regarding dosages in pre-existing conditions. The tech paradox and the paper pass panic. We live in a world operating on digital architecture, and the airport of 2026 is the epicenter of this reality. This brings us to the next major senior pitfall: the total
Paper and analog gate assumptions. Seniors love paper boarding passes. There is something profoundly comforting about holding a physical slip of paper with your seat number printed on it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with carrying a paper backup. In fact, it's smart. The mistake lies in treating that piece of paper as an immutable, infallible truth. Airports are dynamic. Gates change constantly. A flight scheduled for gate A12 can be shifted to gate C9 in the span of 3 minutes due to an incoming aircraft delay. The scenario: a senior traveler checks in, prints their paper pass, and walks to the gate listed on the slip. They sit down, put on their reading glasses, open a paperback novel, and tune out the world. The catch? While they are reading, a silent gate change occurs. The overhead monitors update, and the airline sends out push notifications via their app. The consequence? Because our traveler isn't checking the digital boards or monitoring a smartphone app, they sit blissfully unaware until they look up and realize the gate is completely empty and their flight left 10 minutes ago from an entirely different terminal. But they didn't announce it, is the common refrain heard at customer service desks. The reality of modern airports is that many are moving toward a silent terminal model to reduce auditory pollution, meaning overhead announcements are becoming increasingly rare. If you aren't looking at the screens or a phone, you're flying blind. The 311 liquid trap and the 2026 security shift. Aviation security rules have been around for 20 years, yet the TSA line remains the ultimate theater of senior travel friction. The mistake here is twofold: a failure to keep up with shifting security updates, combined with a nostalgic desire to pack like it's 1985. The TSA 311 liquid rule: liquids must be 3.4 ounces or less in a 1-quart clear bag, is universally loathed, but seniors fall victim to it in incredibly specific ways. They aren't usually trying to smuggle giant bottles of high-end shampoo. Instead, they're trying to transport homemade jams, specialty honey, jars of preserved peaches for their grandchildren, or full-size bottles of specialized medicinal rubs. To a TSA agent, Grandma's prize-winning strawberry rhubarb preserves are classified as a liquid gel and will promptly be tossed into the hazardous waste bin, resulting in heartbreak, arguments, and a backed-up security line.
TSA Liquid Verification Checklist. Is it a liquid, gel, or aerosol? Yes. Is it under 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters? Yes. Fits in 1 quart clear bag. Clear to go. No. Is it vital medicine or formula? Yes. Declare to TSA officer. No. Confiscated. No. Safe to pack. Simultaneously, many seniors miss out on the specific leniencies designed precisely for them. For instance, TSA rules explicitly state that passengers aged 75 or older are allowed to keep their shoes and light jackets on during standard screening. Yet, out of habit or a lack of awareness, thousands of seniors over 75 still stand in line balance-checking themselves on one foot to yank off their loafers, slowing down their own transit and causing unnecessary physical strain. The Blueprint: How to Reclaim the Friendly Skies. Avoiding these blunders doesn't require a degree in aerospace engineering. It simply requires shifting your travel philosophy from "I can do this all myself" to "I am going to use every tool available to make this seamless." If you are a senior traveler, or if you're booking travel for an older relative, implement this 3-step blueprint for stress-free aviation. 1. Fire the pride, hire the chair. When booking your ticket online, there's a tiny, wonderful checkbox that asks if you require special assistance. Check it. Requesting wheelchair assistance from the curb to the gate isn't waving a white flag of defeat, it's treating yourself like a VIP passenger. You skip the massive security lines, you protect your joints, and you guarantee you make your gate with energy to spare. Best of all, the service is completely free, though tipping your pusher a few dollars is excellent form. 2. Leverage TSA Cares. Most travelers have no idea this program exists. TSA Cares is a dedicated helpline, 1-855-787-2227, that passengers can call 72 hours before flying. If you have medical implants, prosthetic devices, mobility challenges, or cognitive anxieties, TSA Cares will coordinate a passenger support specialist to meet you at the airport and personally guide you through the security screening safely and with dignity.
Number 3. Pack a survival pouch. Your carry-on should have a dedicated, easily accessible zipper pouch containing a 3-day supply of all vital medications in case of baggage delays, a written list of your medical conditions, allergies, and doctor's contact information, and a physical printout of your itinerary alongside a fully charged cell phone. At the end of the day, travel is about the destination, the memories, and the sheer joy of exploring this wild, beautiful planet. The airport shouldn't be the boss fight at the end of a video game that leaves you bruised, battered, and broken before your vacation even starts. It's time to leave the "I can handle it" attitude at the sliding glass doors of the departure terminal. Work smarter, fly smoother, utilize the perks you've rightfully earned over a lifetime, and let the airport work for you, not against you. Now go pack those bags, minus the full-size jars of jam, claim your airport golf cart chariot, and conquer the skies like the seasoned pro you are. Did this guide save you from an airport meltdown? Don't keep these travel secrets to yourself. Hit that like button right now to help other travelers find this article, and subscribe to our channel for your weekly dose of unfiltered, practical travel wisdom, updated TSA insider secrets, and elite hacks designed to make your next journey an absolute breeze. Drop a comment below telling us about your craziest airport story. We read every single one. Safe travels!